Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our free webinar. This is Charles Talk. I'll be your facilitator today, and hopefully we will have an interactive webinar. The duration of this webinar is around, 45 to 45 minutes to 1 hour max. Without any delays, let me introduce first the company and myself properly. I will share with you the slides hopefully at the end of the webinar, and I'll be sending you a PDF copy of them. Today we'll be talking about zero-based manpower planning, or what is also called zero-based staffing. This is a very hot topic nowadays, even though it's not a regular manpower planning, a usual manpower planning that was done before, but based on the zero-based principle, the zero-based organization. Many organizations, due to COVID, due to crisis, are using this technique, and we will be highlighting this technique, in a very straightforward and a very generic way, because if we want to go really into details, we need more time. As you know, I am part of a training and consulting company. The name is Merck. It was established in 1958. Merck is an acronym. It stands for Mastery, Excellence, Innovation, Reliability, and Client Centricity. Our slogan is Passionately Developing a Career. What I want to say and highlight now, if you want to know more about the company, about our services, about our freebies, you only have to go to our website, www.merck.com. This is in brief about the organization. What about myself, your facilitator? My name is Charles Stark. I'm originally from Lebanon. This is why my friend Taysir, he was, a bit praising me, because he was the first who entered that I talk Arabic and English. I am currently pursuing my doctorate degree in doctorate in business administration, and I have a Master of Science in Human Resources and Training, and I have a Bachelor in Law, and I am a Senior Certified Professional with the Society for Human Resources Management. The experience is in these areas, so the HR area, the administration, legal, and career coaching, and so on. So without any due delays, if you want to know more about me, please connect with me on LinkedIn, because this is the only platform that I am really active on. So what are the objectives of these 45 minutes or this webinar? So first, we will talk in brief what is HR forecasting, so in a brief way. And then after that, we will be talking about what is zero manning technique and what is the definition of zero-based manpower planning. And then after that, we will give you an applicable example about this technique. So we will try to give you an application, not just the theories about zero manning techniques. So what is zero manning technique? Let's start with a definition of HR forecasting. So HR forecasting, as we all know, it's predicting what we need from manpower, especially from the HR point of view. So when we do a forecasting, we want to predict what is the demand and supply and what is the number of employees we need. But additionally, and this is very important, what types of skills we need for the available job. This is why in every organization, we have something we call a job profile. So a job profile is the criteria needed for the job plus the competencies needed for the job, whether they are technical competencies or behavioral competencies. So an HR forecasting is not only just the number of employees that we need to operate, to have results, to fill the gaps. It's also the competencies needed, the skills needed for our operation. So HR forecasting can be done in many approaches. So we have the dynamic workforce planning approach, we have the fixed approach, we have the mathematical approach, and we have the zero-based forecasting approach. Let us give you, let me ask you a question first before I give you the answer. So I always like to interact with you, to ask you questions, and then if you want to answer, you can just type on your answers on the chat, space related to Zoom, and then we can really discuss the matter. So if I ask you, do you know any of those approaches, especially for those who are in human resources? Do you get to know any of those approaches? Or let me ask the question in a different way. Which approach are you using in your organization? Is it the dynamic? Is it the fixed? Is it the mathematical? Is it the zero-based? So let us hear from you before I give you, for sure, a little bit scope on each approach, and then we will be focusing on the zero manning technique, which is the core of our webinar today. Okay, are you still, you can hear me, am I right? Taysir, can you hear me now?
Yes, your voice is so clear.
Very good. So Taysir is saying mainly fixed approach. Okay, very good, Taysir. Anybody else using any other technique? I would mention the name of Abu Yazan, Tabita, Ainaya, Talent Acquisition, Alan Xavier, K0360, Amjad, and Shuhaibani. So I'm trying to read the names as they are. So Alan is using the dynamic approach. So you see, each organization, each company is using a different approach. Mainly, let's, in brief, talk about the fixed approach. Actually, it is when you use an approach of the difference between the beginning of the year and the end of the year, and then you have this percentage, and based on that percentage, you will say how many employees you need. However, the dynamic approach is more about, you have to see the average of full-time employees, and then you have to see how many people, the average of people that they left the organization, the promotion, and all the moves within the organization in order to decide to fill all the gaps, whether they are, and this is not a fixed number, it's a number that will help you to ask for a flexible number of employees to fill the needs of the organization. While the mathematical approach is more about, straightforward approach, how many, what is the number of sales that the company is budgeting, what is the growth that the company is needed, and based on that calculation, we will be having the number. However, the zero forecasting approach is different. So let us focus on this one, because I don't want to highlight the others. We just gave you, a very, very, very brief thing, because each approach has its calculation, has its, theories, has its cons and pros. However, let us focus on the zero-based manpower planning. However, if you want to know about all of these techniques, all of the cycle of workforce planning, you have only to register in our full-fledged courses, training courses, which is called Workforce Planning and Budgeting. So we have many courses. So one of these courses, which is called Workforce Planning and Budgeting, can cover all of these approaches, theories, and practices. So let us see. So zero-based manpower planning, it is taken from a financial approach, which is called zero-based budgeting technique. So what is technique? It's all about. This technique assumes that every function in the organization is unnecessary until proved otherwise. What does it mean? It means that the organization don't look at what we have in place. So the number of manpower that we have, we don't look at that anymore. We need to say that what are the functions, what are the activities, what are the responsibilities of each position, and how much time they take, and based on the time we will calculate the number of needed manpower in that specific position. It's not the other way around. And this approach is used recently. Why? Because it is about the changing in mentality. Because there is a new mentality called zero-based organization, or zero-based approach, or zero-based principle. They say, we have always overheads, but how we know that we have overheads? With the pandemic, with the crisis, we started to use more and more the zero-based approach, where we say, we have to really mention what are the typical activities, what are the time spent for each activity, in order to know exactly how many person or how many employee we need in that specific position. And this is where the zero-based manpower approach came from. So in simple terms, it means that no manpower should remain unutilized and should be optimally utilized. So it has its advantages. So why should I suffer from the crisis? Why should I suffer from the overhead? This is not a technique to lay off people. This is a technique to utilize people. It is something we call nowadays right sizing. It's not the old mentality of downsizing, so removing what we don't need and so on. No, we are putting the right number of people in the right place to give us the right results. This is the approach. So we need to utilize. So this is optimal utilization of your manpower. It is also, we reach to something called, every manager should think twice and thrice before he asks any new, because he needs to do this calculation. He needs to convince us as an organization, and specifically as human resources, that those manpower or the number that he is requesting is well needed. Any question till now? So I think I over talked, but however I really want you to understand the concept at the end of the day before doing the practices. So if any questions is any clarification is needed, please do not hesitate to write it on the chat related to that. So what are the other terminologies used in the zero manpower techniques? We can see it while doing the research. It is same terminologies, different terminology, but same concept. Zero manning, zero-based staffing, zero-based manpower planning, zero-based manning, zero-based budgeting and manpower, zero-based forecasting. All of these terminologies mean the same. So it is either zero manning, either zero-based staffing, either zero-based manpower plan. So let's go to the calculation. So before doing the calculation, let me show you a small video related to the concept of zero-based, and then I'll ask you some polls before we do the calculation. So in order to relax, and then the calculation, it is a bit debatable, and I want to hear from you more. So first, let me show you that video related to the zero-based principle from a very well-known firm, which is, you will see it we'll see it together.
In the face of digital disruption, many organizations aren't moving fast enough to evolve capabilities and talent. Forward-thinking companies are turning to ZBO, Zero-Based Organization. It's an approach to designing the right organization from a clean sheet and shifting talent to work that fuels profitable growth. It starts with challenging the organization's ambition, choices, and capabilities, then redesigning for should-be costs to create transformational savings, not just incremental reductions. Reaping the benefits of ZBO begins with 3 fundamentals. 1. Be who you aspire to be. ZBO is rooted in the future work routine. Do the pre-work of revisiting your strategy and be open-minded to changing course. 2. Design from the outside in. Bring a customer-first spirit to recreate the value chain. 3. Build it so they come. Free up time and resources for the growth agenda through levers like automation, consolidation, and reskilling. Learn more about ZBO and designing for growth and profitability with the full report, Zeroing Out the Past.
So this is about it. So now we have this zero-based organization or zero-based concept. What I'm trying to say is, with the new technologies, with artificial intelligence, with the COVID, and we need to really look again about the numbers of employees that we have in order to stay beneficial and in order to also to grow those people. So, and this is sometimes we have this dilemma between those people that shall we grow all people, or all people in the organization are productive, efficient, and effective? No, unfortunately not. Not because the people are not good, maybe they are not in the right place, or maybe they are not in the right organization. This is why we need to perform this. In order to continue, let me ask you some question from a poll. I will launch a poll, which is some questions based from research and surveys, and based on that we will discuss, and then we will do the calculation, and I will provide you with an Excel sheet that maybe it will be beneficial for you, and it's an applicable example. So let me launch the polling. So as you can see in front of you, there are 7, I think, questions. Those questions are basically you need some of them. There are multiple choices. So when it is multiple choices, you can see that. Please do answer those questions, and then after that we'll discuss it, and we will move to the applicable example. Okay, ending the polls now. So as you can see in front of you, I'll be sharing now the results. So for the first question, so zero-based staffing is part of all of the above. Most of you, they answer it in a right way. So all of the above. So zero-based staffing is part of zero-based budgeting. It is also part of zero-based organization. It is a principle based on the zero-based principle. So all of the above. For the second question, which is workforce planning includes. What include? It includes determining future workforce need for sure, identifying the gaps, implementing solution. No, it has many approaches. So it's not, it doesn't have one approach. It has many approaches. It can be done on monthly basis. No, usually it is very hard to do workforce planning on a monthly basis. This is why it's part of the budgeting. It is done on a yearly basis. It is analyzing the current workforces. It is also the right answer. So the right answer for the second is determining future workforce needs, identifying gaps, implementing solution, and analyzing the current workforce. What could affect workforce planning? Okay, demographics, yes. Remote work for sure. Pandemic for sure, economic crisis for sure, and company strategy for sure. So here, all the answers are right. Number 4, zero-based manpower planning is associated with better manpower allocation, better performance, right sizing, all of the above. You have it right, it's all of the above. Technology will impact future workforce planning activities. So it is based on your choice. It's not right and wrong. So people are saying at least it is 50%. Based on a research done by PwC, it is 63%. So COVID-19 led to more layoffs, downsizing, right sizing, training and developing, self-development initiative, upskilling and reskilling. I think, yes, layoff, we all agree about that. So COVID-19 led more layoffs, led more downsizing, or right sizing, either or. It depends if you have the positive approach or the not so positivistic point of view. Training and developing existing employee for sure, because organizations are not willing to pay more. Some organizations are not willing to pay more to recruit, yet they want to develop their employees in order to give them more tasks or to upskill or reskill them for future needs. Yes, for sure. Self-development initiative, it is right. Upskilling and reskilling, also you can choose all of the options. And the last question, my organization applied in the last 15 months. Recruiting, wow, there is 57% of you, at least, they are saying that my organization is recruiting. And I think this is a sentiment that we are really touching lately. Yes, at the beginning of the pandemic, many recruitment activities were freezed. Many companies, they laid off, but now I think they are seeing that, this pandemic thing, it's now becoming the normal. We need to come back to business and to results, and therefore they are recruiting. Layoffs for sure. Some companies still in the layoff mentality. People are, some of them, 43% are, they stop the hiring and stop paid training and development. 57% stop paid training and development, and this is a mistake, my friends. Even though I am from the industry of training and development, it should be always, you have to think about developing your people, upskilling and reskilling them for the future. And this is the results of our small poll. So hopefully you enjoyed the poll, and let's go back to our exercise, our practice. But before doing that, let me introduce it in a different way. So on my whiteboard, so I will use my whiteboard, share. On my whiteboard, I will give you a small calculation. If a customer, so one customer, he needs, sorry for my writing, I'm writing with the pen directly on the screen. So if one customer needs 5,000 units of a specific product, and that product need 3 phases. A, to be produced, need 3 phases, A, B, and C. A is taking 2 minutes, B 3 minutes, and 4 minutes. This is in minutes. And I need to finalize this specific product in 1 day. Okay, and I'm going to give you just an example to tell you in 1 day. And actually 1 day in a business, it means 8 hours. Am I right? So we are not working more than 8 hours. So if I have this in mind, I want to, this is an exercise, and who will give you the right answer will be, I will give him a virtual present, which is a dynamic digital badge. So how many employees do I need to finalize this product in 1 day? So how many employees do I need to finalize this product, this 5,000 unit actually, in 1 day? So I'll give you 5 minutes max. So who will give me the right answer? It's a simple calculation. So how many employees do I need to finalize that product in one day, actually in 8 hours? So some of you, they give me the right, I will give the chance to others, and then I will tell you who gave me the right answer, okay? So still we have 4 minutes, and I will be waiting for you to answer. Three minutes to go. One minute to go. Okay, I want you now, let me choose one of you, and let me choose Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen, can you explain how did you reach to your number of employees? You can open your mic and you can explain it, or you can use my screen if you want. So my whiteboard if you want. So preferably if you can open your microphone and explain how you get it. Mr. Allen? Allen Xavier. Or other one. Let me, if Alan has, can you please try to use your microphone, Alan? Anybody else? Let me see who gave me the same answer. Tabitha, can you try your microphone, or you have a problem also with your microphone? It seems there is a problem with the microphone. Let me see with Mr. Sohaibani.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who is that, Mr. Sohaibani?
Yes.
Yes, please. Can you explain how you got the 94?
Actually, we have the available hour. It's 8 hours multiplied by 60. We'll have 480. Then
okay.
In 9 minutes, the total process time.
Okay.
The total will be each employee can produce around 53 units or unit. And then I will divide the 5,000 on 53. and we'll
Absolutely, because we have to, the only trick here is to change the hour into minutes, and then we have to multiply 5,000 by the 9 minutes needed. It will be 45,000 minutes divided by 60, which will give us 750 hours divided by 8. It will give us approximately 93.75, which is 94. Am I right?
Yes.
This is the right calculation. So this is regularly, if we have, this is simple calculation. However, what I'm trying to say in the zero-based mentality, we add one more step. And here I have to ask also Mr. Sohaibani, do you think that employees are working, the working hours, they are really applying 8 hours fully? So they give you 100% all the 8 hours?
No way.
No
Never.
way. This is why in the approach we add one more step, which is how much, which is a percentage of the effective hours that the employees are working. And here it is fluctuating between managerial, non-managerial, between staff and between, technical jobs. So basically it's around 70%, 60 to 75% actually. So we have to apply that, per se that the employees are working, 70%, how much manpower do I need? So I will do the 94 times 70%, and it will be, I need more employees than 94 in order to be safe and to really give the results in the time frame that is given to me. And this is the zero-based approach. So it needs first, it needs really calculation of the hours spent by each position. So it's hectic a little bit, but at the end, we will have the right number of manpower needed for that position. So let me move to the calculation, so to the table. So let's say I am checking a recruitment job, an officer in recruitment. So I need, and this is not straightforward, this is a bit more difficult than the usual because, it's not a technical job, it's between technical and non-technical. And then I need to calculate and describe the activities of that specific position and what is the frequency, what is the time required, and then by adding all the required time, I will divide on the real working hours, and then I will apply the percentage that I need to apply, and then I will have the right number of employees needed in that position. So let us say in a position, that person, he needs to contact media, he will contact 3 agencies, he is doing it, the frequency, three times, so 3 agency in a quarter, so 3 by 4, it is in a year, he is, it's the frequency, it's 12 times, and then the time required each time is 30, so per year is 30 hours, so we will have 30 times 12, it will give us 360 hours, and so on and so forth, reaching, I will not go through it because I will show you the Excel sheets related to it. And then I will get the number of the total time required for all the activity of that specific position would be, after calculation, 3,044 hours a year. And then I will do my calculation. I have to check the exact working days and then exact working hours, and then I will apply my percentage to divide. So again, here it is another calculation. So what is the real working hours or working days? And here we need not to, divide by 365. We need to remove the 104, which is the number of, weekends that, it's not calculated in the real working hours or days, and then we have to remove the annual leave and then the holidays. So the calculation based on all of these will be the following. So if you can see my Excel sheet here in front of you, you can see that I have put all the numbers together. So again, here, if you can see, we have three agents. Sorry, again, stop sharing. I will share again. So I have here. So the three agencies, so three, the frequency is 4, and then it is 12 yearly, and each one is taking 30 hours per year, and it will give me 360 hours. And you see here, based on my calculation, it will give me 3,044. How did I get this one? So if you see here, there is another calculation on below. It is, so the days per year is 365, weekends is 104. How do I get 104? It is 365 divided by 7, its number of the days of the week, and then it will give me 52. 52 times 2, it will give me 104. Then the leave day, and here it depends on the position. In this position, he has 30 working days as a leave. It will, if it will be, let's say 22, it will change the calculation. But here I used the 30 days, so it is 30 days. And then here, public holiday, it's 11. So it depends on the country as well. So if the country change, so it will be more than 11 or less than 11, it will change also a bit the calculation. So I have here for this specific employee or this specific position, 220 working days. So working hours, if I consider that position work 8 hours a day, so it will give me 1,758 hours per year for that specific position. So, and if I did the 70%, apply the 70% that we talked about, and here it is different between 80 or 70 or 65, it depends on the position. So this position, 70%, it's effective. So I have the effective real working hours will be 1,230 working hours. And if I apply here, I will take, so this number divided by 1,230, and if I put enter, it will give me 2.45. And here it is not 2, it is not 3, it is basically in between. And here it is the decision of the organization. Do I want to recruit or to have two employees in that position? They will be a bit overwhelmed. Or do I want them to, or do I want to recruit 3 employees in that position, and they will have some time free, some free time, and then I can give them maybe more or add some tasks to their existing schedule, and so on and so forth. And based on this calculation, it is, I will really select how much manpower do I need for a position, and basically later on for all the position in the organization. I know it's hectic in the beginning, but at the end, it will give you the right, approximately the right number needed for each position. So is it clear? Do I need to clarify more? I will give you the Excel sheets. Once we finish, I have your email, your registered email. I will send to you this Excel sheet, and I'll send also to you the presentation. Any question till now? So, if no question is needed to answer, let me continue. So basically, based on that, every solution or every approach has its cons and pros. We will see about that. However, so if I found, and this is a question again, if I find that I did this calculation regardless of the manpower that I have, and I found that I have an excess in manpower, and here I have to do there are many things to do. First, I'll start to the rotation, I'll start the internal transfer, I can do some transfer maybe, and if not, if really I have lots of overhead, I can do one of those 4 steps, or I restrict the hiring, or I reduce the hours for people and I reduce the pay, especially if I am paying per hour. I start something we call early retirement. I can do some layoff. I can do some downsizing and right sizing. So this is the approach. So in order to conclude, before I give you the cons and pros about this technique. So now we are in an era that we really need to utilize and to recruit and to do a right planning for the right utilization of our organization. This is why there is, I will end this session with the 5 right components in the organization. So the first right is the right work. So before I consider anything, I need to consider what work drives the greatest business value. So what is the work that I need really, and what are the activities and the responsibilities and the tasks that are needed to, reach the right result. Second right is the right size. So I need to identify the time needed, the effort needed, the frequency needed for each work to be done, and then the right structure. So I need really, based on the crisis and pandemic, to think about redesigning my organization to be more effective, applying the zero-based mentality or principle. I need to have also the right people. So I need to build the talent in the organization. I need to keep talented people. I need to invest in them, to develop them, to reskill them, to upskill them. And then for sure, in order to do that, in order to reach the right results, I need the right measures, I need the right metrics, I need the right organization and functional objectives and KPIs and metrics. This is why with all those rights, I will reach hopefully to the right needed results. So before I finish that, I want to ask you a simple question. What do you think about this approach? What are the advantages first? And later on also we talk about the disadvantages. Please feel free to talk to directly or through the chat. So I'll start to ask you if you don't give me your opinion. So I'll start with a person that I know that he is capable of, his microphone is working well. Mr. Suhaibani, what do you think about this approach and what are the benefits of it?
The right people, because if you have the right people or have high skilled people, will have more flexibility to move them anywhere or to give them any work, even
Absolutely.
if it's their experience or studies or qualification.
Absolutely, Mr. Suhaibani. And this is, I think, when we have the right people, when we have the talented people, and we don't have overstuffed or overheads, we can really take care of them and then grow them as we go. Mr. Taysir, he said advantages, optimization of resources, absolutely. Disadvantages, need negotiation and power. Yes, you need negotiation, Mr. Taysir. However, you need actually to have the right tools in order to really have the right calculation of the needed hours or the frequency of the tasks, especially in the administrative tasks. Yes, absolutely right. Anyone else need to give his opinion? Mr. Abdul, Inyolua, Nasser, anyone? Tabita, I would like to hear from you as well. I see her already. Mr. Alan, as well, your opinion is recommended. Otherwise, I'll give you 1 to 2 minutes, and otherwise we can, finalize this, hoping that, I highlighted something new in the manpower planning and an approach that is, recently used a lot. Alan? Mr. Allen? We cannot hear you, so if you please, can you write it down, whatever it is. Abu Yazan, do you have any opinion? Tabita, thank you for giving your opinion. I agree with the optimization as advantages, and the 5 rights bring it all together by considering the type of people and skill needed. Absolutely. I agree to this 5 right approach. Yes, absolutely. So this is the 5 rights approach, where to summarize why we need a zero-based mentality and principle, and why organizations are using it. Even in the budgeting, as we said, zero-based budgeting is an approach that, we begin the budget from scratch. The budget is not based on previous budget. We need to start from zero, and we need to justify every penny. And this is as well in the manpower. We need to justify any additional manpower, and this will put some pressure on managers, but at the end of the day, it will relax the organization, because some managers tend to ask more than they need. Sure, work is equally dispensed. I agree with the writer, and thank you. Thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this webinar, and thank you for being part of it. However, as I promised, when we finish this webinar, I will send you the PDF copy of this small presentation of this webinar, plus the Excel sheet as promised on the registered email. And thank you. Stay tuned with us, and hopefully we'll have more free webinars to come in the near future with different subjects. Thank you so much. And by the way, Ramadan Mubarak to everyone, and have a great end of the day. Thank you so much for being here.
Merck.com